Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and this is my daily driver. This is a 2014 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk fully loaded V6 with a tow package that cost just over $41,000 when brand new a decade ago. And this represents what you can get from the Jeep brand now here in 2024 for the same price. This is the Jeep Compass. Has inflation really bit the Jeep brand a little bit too hard? What are the differences in what $41,000 will get you 10 years ago versus today? Stay tuned. All right, gearheads, before we get too far into this one, I do want to thank Jeep for bringing me this vehicle for a test for a full week here on the channel for you. Yes, we drive a Jeep product that is now 10 years old on the daily, and this is the modern equivalent as far as base MSRP goes, or as optioned MSRP goes. This is actually a 2023 model. This is a trim that doesn't exist for the 2024. This is the altitude trim. But other than this trim not existing, really maintains everything from the 2023 model for 2024. Slightly reworked grille and different wheels and tires on the Trailhawk model. So let's talk about what makes these two vehicles so different 10 years apart, but for the same asking price. Starting underneath the hood, we have a 3.2 liter Pentastar V6 in our Jeep Cherokee. This Compass, however, uses a 2 liter turbocharged, yes, you can see the turbo very far up front right here, turbocharged 4-cylinder. So very different powertrains between the two. The power on our V6 is 271 horsepower and 239 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission and will tow up to 4,500 pounds as equipped. EPA estimates 18 city, 25 highway, 20 combined. This little 2 liter turbo, however, makes, well, just a little bit less horsepower, 200 horsepower versus the 271, 221 pound-feet of torque versus the 239, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, which I can tell you, our 9-speed automatic has shown every bit of issue that has been complained about online. It can be a little rough shifting. I've driven this Compass down to Houston and back and have absolutely enjoyed the 8-speed in this one. The EPA also estimates the fuel economy on this 2 liter to be 24 city, 32 highway, 27 combined, with a max tow rating of just 2,000 pounds. As we close the hood on our Jeep Compass, you can very much tell this has baby Grand Cherokee vibes, which is kind of weird. So we'll go ahead and talk about it. The Grand Cherokee is the big famous unibody vehicle from the brand. The Cherokee, by name alone, should denote baby Grand Cherokee, correct? Well, not in Jeep's hierarchy. This is the baby Grand Cherokee. From styling and interior and exterior, this very much looks like the Grand Cherokee, just smaller. Whereas the Cherokee, well, it looks pretty different, but has been discontinued for 2024. So this is the next size down from the Grand Cherokee in the 2024 model lineup. Yes, I did say this altitude trim doesn't exist anymore, but you can get a comparable vehicle in the 2024 lineup. You can see we've got LED headlights, LED fog lights, and incandescent turn signals. We do have that Jeep 7-slot grille up front, but very traditional looks to the styling of this. No divorced headlights and running lamps, anything like that. It is a very nice, clean, handsome look, which has made this a very popular vehicle. Since receiving these, I have noticed these absolutely everywhere. It is one of the brand's best-selling vehicles because it is in the subcompact class versus that Cherokee being in the compact class. This really does fit in size, not necessarily in price, against the likes of Hyundai Kona, Kia Seltos, Subaru Crosstrek, Chevy Trailblazer. Buick, Encore GX, those kind of vehicles in its overall size. As we come around to the side, this has more modern Grand Cherokee styling with that kind of floating roof design, but still a very strong look. This vehicle has received a huge glow up since it was first introduced in the Jeep lineup. It looked kind of gangly when it was first introduced. They were going for a baby Wrangler vibe versus a baby Grand Cherokee or baby Jeep Grand Cherokee vibe. And I think this look works a whole lot better versus how they introduced it. As we move to the side, you can see we get that big compass on the door. We have the active entry or that passive entry for the front doors, not on the back. We get that dipping, plunging roof line that very much mimics the modern Grand Cherokee L, and a very clean up rear end design. This very much looks like the outgoing post-refresh Cherokee with the taillights that are a combination of black, red, and clear, and the license plate being here in the middle of the tailgate versus being down in the bumper. You can see we do have a 4x4. It is a Jeep after all, and we get our power lift gate on our model with a hatch release right there. You can see as we open up the rear hatch, we can talk about storage numbers and how they differ versus the compact Cherokee that I guess this is kind of usurped by in the lineup. So cargo with the seats up in the back of the Cherokee, 24.6 cubic feet. This Compass bests it at 27.2. You can see we have a 60-40 split bench rear seat, and so folding the seats down in the Cherokee gives you 54.9 cubic feet. Here again, besting that that baby Cherokee with 59.8 cubic feet. So surprisingly, even though it is a smaller vehicle, you get more storage capacity back here in the back of the Compass. So score that as a win for the smaller Compass. We do also have a false load floor back here. You can see, you can lift it up. This is where a spare tire would be if we didn't have a fix-a-flat kit. And I'm gonna go ahead and do it. You can pull this out and drop it down for even more storage space back here. So lots of storage space, and you can see just the change in elevation here. I will say though, with this down, when you fold the seat backs down, you're not gonna get a flat load floor all the way across, and you don't have a flat load floor butting up to the rear hatch back here. I do wanna call out some Easter eggs back here while we've got the hatch open. We've got the American flag back here, and yes, I did count, this is 13 stripes. No, I did not count all of the stars on this one, but American flag on both sides back here in the back. And we have a few other Easter eggs throughout, including that Jeep logo right there. We've got a serpent right there on the back window. And if we look under the hatch here, we've got a Jeep logo right there. Lots of Jeep logos throughout this vehicle. I'll let you know, or let you leave down in the comments every one that you found so far. This being a Stellantis product, they put the hatch button right here on the side versus being up here on the hatch right here. So no matter how tall you are, you can very easily get back here and not have to jump to close it, load up all your cargo, and then push the button to lower the hatch. Before we hop in this one, I do want to show you the key. It is the exact same key as our Jeep Cherokee. This one is our Jeep Cherokee. This one is the Compass. The only difference is where the physical key is. You get a shiny physical key on the Compass, where you get kind of this brush look on our Cherokee. But as we look at the key, it's got everything on it that you need: lock, unlock, hatch release, and remote start, along with panic. But it is a proximity key. You can just keep it in your pocket, your purse, wherever you keep it. Like I said, we have lock button right here, and unlock is just on the back of the door handles. That is only on the front doors, not on the back doors. So if you've got to load a kid in, well, you're going to be touching the front door first. It's something that we've gotten used to. As we move to the inside, we get the modern Jeep switchgear in this one. We get express up down on the front, not on the back, and then your lockout controls and your locks. Updated door handles that again kind of borrow designs from the Wrangler and how the lock mechanism is on this one. All around pretty cool. Very interesting look. We do have a power driver's seat with two-way lumbar here, and then we get vinyl seats with cloth inserts. These are heated seats. They are not ventilated seats. We have full leather in our Cherokee. So again, comparing 10-year gap in vehicles, we had leather heated seats in our 2014. Here we get vinyl and cloth in this essentially 2024. As we come into it and hop inside, both do have push button start. Go ahead and let this one fire up. And this is where the 10-year gap in technology really shows its advantages between the two. We get the exact same lighting switchgear over my left knee here, pretty much the exact same gauge cluster here. We have analog gauges on the left and right, with everything else being on this digital helper screen here in the middle. That's a 7-inch helper screen. It is practically the same software layout that we see in our 10-year-old Jeep Cherokee. All the buttons on the steering wheel are very similar. They do the same things, so it's a little bit different layout. It is the modern Jeep steering wheel. Again, this is a baby Grand Cherokee, and this is the Grand Cherokee steering wheel. Very much baby Grand Cherokee styling in here as well. This does have a class-leading 10.1-inch Uconnect system, and that just like any other Uconnect system, it's very quick and snappy. You can see we do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but you can plug up via USB-A or USB-C as well. But yes, everything right there for you, and you can go to different screens here. You can also program some shortcuts up here, which I really like as well, including your camera button with 360. Little bitty compass here. I find it funny just how small that one is, but we don't get any trajectory lines when you hit that camera button, which is kind of interesting in the segment. We do get trajectory on our 10-year-old Cherokee, but we don't get our trajectory lines here. Here you have your auto start stop off, your traction control, your lane keep, your parking sense, and your automatic parking. All of these options are also on our 10-year-old vehicle. Couple air vents, all your physical controls for your HVAC. It is dual zone, again, very much like our Cherokee, which can also be controlled up here on the touchscreen if you hit the right place. So there you go. You also have heated front seats and a heated steering wheel. Those are only controlled here on the screen. So if you put the vehicle in reverse, you're not going to be adjusting your heated steering wheel or screen. That's something that we've seen as a problem in the 10 years of owning our Cherokee. This is a much nicer interior, I would say, than our Cherokee is. Jeep has learned a little about design, and you get this vinyl look here with some stitching. It's a very classy design all the way around. Wireless charger down here, which we don't have in our Jeep Cherokee. 8-speed automatic, I already told you that's a whole lot better. We'll talk about that more when we're driving. Electronic parking brake, which is similar. Few less drive modes. Again, we don't have the Trailhawk version, so it's not apples to apples. You get more in the Trailhawk, and a 4-wheel drive lock. Basically just telling it always send power to all 4 wheels versus just when there's slippage. Couple cup holders and a decent sized, I guess, center console. It's a little small. No dual level here on this one. We do get dual level on our Cherokee. And then looking inside, damped glove box, fairly large, does a good job. You get a little bit of storage in the doors here. And our model does not get a sunroof. So our Cherokee, again, 10 years old, does have a full panoramic roof, not here on this one. So if we're comparing numbers to numbers, this is what $41,000 gets you nowadays. I'm actually going to talk about headroom and legroom because the overall size of these vehicles has changed. The wheelbase of the Cherokee was 107 inches. This is shorter at 103.8. Overall length of the Cherokee, 182. Length of this one, 173.4. Front headroom, 39.2 in this, 39.4 in the Cherokee, so about the same there. Front legroom is actually better by over half an inch, 41.8 inches up here, 41.1 in the Cherokee. But let's move back to the back seat where that story changes just a little bit. Okay, we talked about this being a shorter vehicle overall, but having a better front seat and a better cargo compartment. So all that space had to come from somewhere, and unfortunately it comes from back here in the back seat. This is a tight back seat in comparison. Even though the numbers don't show it, you're about to see for yourself. I'm going to go ahead and climb in behind myself at 5'10". You can see I've got plenty of room back here, fairly comfortable. And go ahead and show you here, these seats do fold. This is the mechanism, but they don't recline. So I am kind of sitting upright here in the back seat. Again, no panoramic roof in this one. Go ahead and pull up the numbers again for a comparison to the Cherokee. Rear headroom, 38.5 in both vehicles. So again, very similar, but the legroom, 40.3 in the back of the Cherokee and 38.3. So we lost 2 inches of legroom, and you can definitely tell we are fairly close here, but you do get a lot of modern amenities and some storage back here. So we get mat pockets on the back of both seats. We've got air vents on the back here, USB-A and USB-C, which we don't have in the Cherokee, and a cigarette lighter style plug down here. And we get some storage in the doors as well, including another Easter egg. They do number these. This looks to be, what is it? Number, I can't tell. But yes, they do number those. And then we get the same all-weather floor mats back here in the back as we do up front. We do get a pull-down center armrest with a couple cup holders, which is very nice. But all the way around, it is smaller back here than what we have in the Cherokee. This is where the space was sacrificed to fit into the subcompact class. And again, with the Cherokee gone, if you aren't buying a Grand Cherokee, this is the next best thing in the Jeep lineup. As we set off in this Jeep Compass, the irony is not lost on me that it is not apples to apples, just showing you what $41,000 gets you 10 years later, because inflation doesn't quite work like that. I did go on a US inflation calculator to see exactly what the inflation would be on the original MSRP of our Cherokee, and it would be $53,000. Compare that to the $41,000 asking price of a 2024 Compass, and this still proves to be a value. But it is still rather pricey in the segment for me. When I tell you that the vehicles that this competes again are those Hyundai Konas and Subaru Crosstreks and Chevy Trailblazers of the world, those really stick around 35. And so this being $6 grand more, Jeep is really banking on and counting on that Jeep brand equity from the Grand Cherokee and from the Wrangler, really incentivizing you to go up in price for something in the same segment. And it's kind of a hard sell for me, but getting out and driving this one, like I said, I've put many miles on this one. I can hear all you keyboard warriors right now saying, oh yeah, but it's a Chrysler product. Oh yeah, but it's a Jeep. This is a solid vehicle. In the 10 years since our Cherokee, I will say this is a much more pleasantly built, arranged, design vehicle on the inside. The steering wheel feels very nice, premium and upscale. Like I said, it's ripped out of the Grand Cherokee. The tech in it is updated as you would expect. And yes, this does have engine start stop on it. I'm going to go ahead and defeat that. Being that it is a smaller 2-liter 4-cylinder, the power numbers are similar, but this is a smaller, lighter vehicle, so there are no real complaints. I do like how we have over 200 horsepower. Same cannot be said of some competitors that are still dealing with less than 200. I know 195 is the number in the Kona and the Kia Seltos twins. So this is a powerful vehicle for its segment. And then again, you've got that Jeep brand equity of their trail rated, even though this model is not trail rated. You gotta get the Trailhawk for that. Driving this thing around in a neighborhood, you definitely hear that 2-liter turbo making its presence known. It's not loud, but it's definitely not quiet by any means. Another slight sacrifice to going with this Jeep Compass versus an older outgoing Jeep Cherokee with its V6. The blinkers in this are very interesting sounding. It's an interesting note that I haven't quite gotten used to in my time in this. Ride in it is calm and comfortable. It is loud in here. It's very well insulated. There's a lot of sound deadening in those front fenders. It is a quiet vehicle and it is very comfortable. And I can tell you, I was driving through a downpour going down to the Houston Auto Show and back. I mean, it was gray, it was tough sledding to the point where I could have used a boat down in the Gulf portion of the state. And this thing sledged through just fine. We are in auto four-wheel drive mode, but this is a primarily front drive vehicle. You can lock it in four-wheel drive. I never felt the need to. This thing was comfortable and sure-footed through everything. I can say this is a very solid entry into the segment, although one that's a little bit pricey. That is really my only sticking point with this vehicle. You get a lot of premium materials, design, lots of nice updated tech in this. It really is that price point that is just the sticking point for me, which is why I brought my 10-year-old Cherokee into this equation, because 10 years ago, that cost what this costs now. And I feel like you just got so much more for your money way back then. Yes, I know, adjusted for inflation, that would be 53. Against its competitors, though, this still is lacking. We are also testing a less than $40,000 competitor to this in price alone in the Hyundai Tucson Limited all-wheel drive. It is a size class above this, more room, more luxuries inside, including heated and ventilated front seats. It's a nicer vehicle, bigger vehicle for less money. So again, Jeep is really banking on the brand equity of that Jeep name with this vehicle. And to that, I ask you, how important is the Jeep brand name to you? Do you like it enough to sacrifice some features or to sacrifice some dollars when you are at the dealership? Or maybe it's something you want to cross shop and get something a little bit more affordable. Huge thanks once more to Jeep for loaning this to me for a week to test. If you want to see Holly's thoughts on this one, because our Cherokee really is her car, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when that video drops. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. As for me, in the subcompact Jeep Compass Altitude 4x4, until next time, gearheads, bye.